Hi guys, in this video I'm going to be upgrading the SSD in my 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro. I currently have the stock Apple 256GB SSD which is rapidly filling up, so I'm going to be upgrading it with an original Apple 768GB SSD which I bought from eBay. You can't use any old SSD with these Retina machines, unfortunately. You have to use an original Apple drive or buy a third-party drive designed specifically for the Retina MacBook Pro, like the ones made by OWC. So the first thing we need to do is to shut down the Mac, and once it has been shut down, turn it face down on the desk. Then remove the 10 screws from the bottom case and arrange them in order on the desk to make sure that they go back in the same place. Because although they look the same, there are actually 3 different sizes. These 10 screws are Apple's proprietary pentalobe screws, so you'll need a special pentalobe screwdriver to remove them. Once the screws have been removed, the bottom case can be lifted off and we have access to the Mac's internals. The SSD can be seen to the right, but before touching that, just peel up the tape covering the battery connector and disconnect the battery from the logic board by lifting it up and bending it away from the board. Now we're ready to remove the SSD. The SSD is immediately above the fan on the right and it's held in place by a single Torx T5 screw. The screw may be a little stiff, so just apply steady, even anti-clockwise pressure with your Torx screwdriver to remove it. Once the screw has been removed, hold the SSD by the end farthest from the connector, rotate it up by around 10 degrees and then slide the SSD out of its connector. Now take the new SSD and holding it again at an angle of around 10 degrees, slide it into the connector, making sure to line up the cutout on the connector with the gap on the PCB. Once it's fully seated, you can replace the screw, taking care not to over tighten it. Now we can just reconnect the battery connector and replace the lower case. I didn't have any files on the original SSD that I wanted to keep, as I'd already backed them up to an external USB drive, so I just reinstalled OS X El Capitan from scratch using Internet Recovery. Once the installation finished and I was back into OS X, System Profiler showed the SSD as an original Apple drive, and it was just a case of copying my files back from the external drive. This is a very easy upgrade and took less than 10 minutes, not including the reinstallation of the operating system. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.